Hey everybody, welcome to the pixelr.com training program. Okay, in this program we are going to learn how to create a header for video number 1, okay, using Pixelr. So let's go over to Pixelr. I'm going to Google Pixelr, P-I-X-L-R, and then I'm going to click search. So this is how it's easy to find it if you don't know. Right here, pixelr.com, we're going to click on that. Right here it gives you 3 choices. We want the Open Pixelr Editor Advanced. We're going to click on that. And this opens up like Pixelr's version of, it's like Photoshop. Okay, it's a photo editor. So we're going to create a new image here. Right here we have other choices to open image from a computer if we're using that, or from a URL if it's online somewhere, or from the Pixelr library, Facebook, or other libraries. We're going to go to create a new image. Okay, right now it's preset to 800 by 600. We can change that. Let's change it to 800 by, let's try 200. Okay, you could change it to whatever specific header size that you need. We'll click OK. So here it is. It looks like a nice header size. Okay. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to choose a color for the background, and we're going to use the paint bucket tool that's right here. So you can imagine getting that paint bucket and dropping a big bucket of paint on this whole white canvas here. But in order to choose a color, we can choose a color right by clicking into this main color box here, and then you can move these around, or you can pretty much click anywhere in this colored area to choose a color. Let's start out with a nice medium tone. Right now I just have no idea exactly what we're going for with this tutorial, but we're just going to play around with the tools here so you guys learn. And let's do something in the orange tones. Okay, let's see. I can pick in the orange area with this round circle, and then here I can get more specific and move it around, and you can see my color change there. Let's start out with something kind of medium tone, like that. Okay. Okay, so that's how you choose a color. Once you have the paint bucket tool, I just come in here and I left click, and my whole background is automatically that orange color there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to build layer upon layer to create our background, our header image here. So we want a new layer. So in order to do that, we're going to come right over here to this layers box section, and right here, see where I'm pointing to where it says new layer? I'm going to click on that. Now it just gave me a new layer. So you'll get the idea of what layers are in a second as we start working. So on this new layer, we're going to build up. Let's put something additional on this. Now the purpose we're going to be making a lot of layers is because if you ever want to make changes or you make a mistake, all you have to do is eliminate that single layer, and the rest of your work underneath is still fine. Okay, so we're going to build up these graphic layers on top of it. Alright, so on layer number 1, why don't we make a shape of some sort, and we can do like a neat graphic shape on top of here. So we're gonna, right in here, you'll see this, it's a drawing tool. So I'm gonna click on that, and we can click this square shape here, and I'm gonna left click and drag, and I'm gonna drag it across kind of the whole header here. It automatically makes it black. I'm going to click the move tool here, and I can get this shape, and I can move it up and down wherever I like. Okay, let's put it right here, and now I can color this. It doesn't have to be black. I can color it with like a gradient. So I click on the gradient tool here, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to click some. These are all my color choices down here. I can click on these little areas down here, and they'll swap places with this color. So let's pick another color. Let's pick like how about a blue? We'll go with the blue color. Let's click OK, and then we'll swap another. And let's go with like a lighter blue color. And we'll click OK. Let's see here. We'll swap this one. You know what? I think I want a darker blue. Like that. that's there. Alright, so now we're on the layer, and you can rename these so you remember what they are. So we'll call this, I just double clicked on this the name here, and now I'm going to change it to, I'll just change it to bar. Okay. And we're going to use this gradient tool here, and I'm going to double click on this where it says gradient, this graphic right next to it. I'm going to double click on that so it brings up my choices of gradient. So I can choose, like, if I want the gradient to look like that, I want the gradient to look like that, and you drag this down and it gives you even more choices. Okay, or I can click on these little boxes here, and I can change that color. So say I want that color to be lighter, I'll click there, and I want it to be a lighter blue. So I click OK. If I don't want this to be black, I want it to be something else, I would just click there, click on that, and I can change it to something else, but I don't want to. I like it the way it is. Okay, so you have to click the area where the color is, and then click in the specific color. So you want the dark shadow area, the middle tone, or the light area. Whichever one you choose to change, you have to select it, and then once you select it, you click here. Okay, these colors in here are already preset for you, so you're free to choose any of these that are already preset. Okay, so I like this one here, so we'll go with that. Now that I have that, I'll go down here and click on my bar. I got that there. Oops. Let me go back. Let me select that shape first. Now I got my gradient tool. Now I'm left clicking, and I'm dragging the string up, and I'm releasing. Okay, you see that? What I forgot to do was select it. So I used this tool here, is the wand tool. It's a magic wand. I selected the shape so it has the marching ants around it. Then I went back over to the gradient tool, clicked and dragged up, and let it go. So you can do a short drag, and it'll give you, and I can do a long drag, so you can vary up the different style of the fade. Okay, and then you release, and there you go. You can do it different ways. Let me drag it farther. Okay, let me see. I make it straight. Boom. So let's go with that. So now, in order to get rid of the marching ants around it, I press the button Control and D, and that automatically deselected the marching ants. Okay, so now I have a graphic shape there. So that's on that layer. So let's build another layer. So we got layer 2, and we can do something else on this layer. Okay, let's build I don't know, we can build another shape. We can do something else graphic. Let's see here. You can do a square, you can do more like with rounded corners, rounded rectangle, ellipse. Right here you got the line tool. Okay, so let's see, let's do one with the rounded corners, and let's do it right on, let's see, we'll do it right on top of this one here. And you can make it skinny, and you can make it fat. It can go over the edge. Let's see, we can make it bigger like this. So, alright, let's do something, I got an idea. Let's do something like this. And now I select the move tool to move it up, and I can place it right in here. Okay, now I'll choose a color. I'll choose this blue color. I'll come over to the bucket tool. I'm going to fill in that color with the light blue. Okay, so right inside this little shape here, I'll put my text in there. Alright, so I'll grab the text tool here, the type tool. I selected that. Now I click inside that area. Now let me type. This is a header test. Okay. I'm going to change. I want it to fill. You can see it gives you a little blue box here. It's showing me how big it is. So I'm going to make it bigger. So I'll go to the size here and I'll move this. And now you can see how big the box is getting. It's getting pretty big. So that'll fit nicely there. Now I'll come over to the color here. And let's go with like a darker orangey color maybe. Something that we can really see. Something that stands out in here. About something like that. And click OK. Okay. So I can move that around right in here with the arrow. I'm holding down the left button. And I'm holding it right in there. Okay. So now right down here is where we have the font. I can click on that little arrow there, and I can just, all I'm doing, I'm not even pressing a button. I'm just scrolling right over the names of the fonts, and this is what I really like about Pixlr, is that it automatically gives you a preview of what your font is. So I can scroll down. Let me move this up here more. See, and then here you can click down farther and you get more fonts. You can click down even farther. There's a lot of nice fonts in here until you get something that you like. Okay, we'll stick with that there. I think I'm going to go with maybe even something like black, something darker, or how about a navy blue? That might work. It goes along with that. There we go. Okay, I like that. That's a little bit more bold. And then the style you can go with is even bolder if the font allows it. Bold italic, regular. Okay, let's go with bold italic, I guess. That'd be cool. And let's put OK. Okay, now the move tool. I select the move tool, and I can move this around wherever I like. Okay, so now you look over to the left. Let's review a little bit. We made our background orange. We created our bar. We did a fade with this gradient tool here. We did a fade. We did another layer with the shape tool here. We made this shape, and now we did some text. And we put some text on it. Okay. Now here's the deal. The text is cool. It's a little bit flat, and same with these shapes here. Let's do something with this shape right here. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to rename this. I double clicked on that, and let's put, I'll name it blue shape. Okay. Click off of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do to this blue shape to make it look more interesting is I'm going to come right down here to this little layer styles box. It's got this little like orange little star on it, and I click on that and it opens the layer style. Let me move it out of the way so you can see what's going on. I'm going to click drop shadow, and it gives me a drop shadow of that layer style. Okay, there's an inner shadow. I can do that. I can bevel it, which is really cool for shapes like that. I can do an outer glow, which you can barely see the outer glow, or an inner glow. Okay, now you can barely see the inner glow, but I can adjust that. Okay, so I'm going to click on inner glow, the word here, and now I can change the size. I can change the hardness of it, and also the opacity. I can make it lighter or darker. I like it darker. And I can also change the color by checking on the color box, putting OK, and it's a little bit more bold. Okay, so I like the inner glow. That doesn't mean that I can't do a drop shadow as well. So I can click drop shadow. I have a drop shadow now. I can change the opacity on the drop shadow, the distance of it, how far it is. You can see it's popping in and out, and the size of it. I can fade it out softer or harder. Okay, I could also change the direction of that shadow. I can make it go the opposite direction. So let's do that and click OK. So there. Alright, now let's go over to the text, and we'll click that same layer style with the text. We can do a drop shadow with text. We can do an inner shadow. Can't see it much because it's dark. We can do a bevel, And we can adjust that bevel. We can do an outer glow or an inner glow. Or we'll take that off. Okay, because of this style of font, it's really thin. Inner glow is not going to work too much, but an outer glow may work. So let's double click on that. And let's see. You can do the hardness and the size of it. Let's change that glow to a lighter color, like a baby blue or a white. And now we got this thing really glowing. Okay? So I changed the color to a light. The size I can play around with. Look at that. It's all good. Anywhere I pretty much do it. And then the opacity, I can take it down or up. Okay? So it's not just a plain shape. Now you got something real, something it looks like they can touch with their hand. And don't forget, you can also do that same thing with this graphic bar down here. So let's not leave that out. We'll come back to the layer style again. So this is all repetitive stuff. We're just doing the same thing. Let's put a drop shadow into there. Let's lighten the opacity because it looks a little bit unrealistic with that hard. The distance of it's kind of far. Let's move it a little bit closer. The size of it, let's fade it up just a bit. Now let's do an inner glow. No, bevel maybe. No, because that'll repeat this, and we don't want that over again. An outer glow. It already has a drop shadow. Well, let's try to. We can use the bevel, but let's play with it. We can make it a little bit less obvious, just slight, like that. Let's see. Color opacity, you can kind of see we just want to slide around the edges there, but okay. So this is a header test. Now we can put another row of text inside here. So I like what's going on here with this header now. Let's create another layer of text for this area down here. It's our secondary text. So I'll click on that, and I'm going to click right here in this area. I'm going to take the text size down to about 21, and I'm going to click. Let's make the color. Let's do it dark so we can see it. Oh, maybe even like a dark red or something. Or dark. Okay, let's just keep it at that for now. We can always change it. Okay, we're going to say this is secondary text. www. No, you know what? Let's go www.dairytext.com. And let's put a little bit of space between it. Now I'm going to select the, you know what, let's do this white. Click OK. The move tool, I'm going to set that right down in there. Alright, so if you want to come back and re-edit that, you just use the text tool, click right back where the text is. It's already, the cursor is already in there. I can start because I want to make this a bigger space. I'm just using the space bar on the keyboard here. And I can also change the font to a different font. Let me move this up so you guys can see it better. Let's check out the different fonts. Let's use something a little bit more creative, like what's going on here. It's pretty cool. Secondary text. Vary up the text a little bit. That one's pretty bold there. Alright, let's go with that. Use the move tool. Right there. Okay. Okay, let's go right there. Alright, so let's see. This is a header test. I'm back on that text layer because I have an idea. I want to move that over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little space here. If you had like an icon or something, you can drop it right in there. So let's go over to File. Let's see. Open image I selected. to, selecting my desktop. Let's go to, there's my image there. Let's open that up. So what I want to do is I want to put my image right in here in this area. Okay, so let's see, I can copy this image here by duplicating the layer. Let me see here. I believe I will go up to this layer here. I right clicked on it and I click duplicate layer, and there it is, it copied it. Because what I want to do is I want to put my image without the background. I don't want all that other stuff, because this is a good way to show you guys how to use this lasso tool. Okay, so I'm going to get this lasso here, and I'm going to actually come up here and select this the polygon lasso tool here, because this one gives you more control. And I'm just going to left click, and it allows me to drag the mouse around, and it's kind of like a pair of scissors. Okay, think of it that way. And I can spend more time on this, like doing it really nice and neat and going around the edges of myself. Really good, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to actually speed it up a little bit, but you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, I just keep clicking around whatever it is you want to cut out. Okay. Okay, and we'll say this is my shoulder here until you reach all the way around. Okay, so now I can left click on that, and I just dragged it over. See, I left clicked, since it's cut and it has the marching ants around it, all I had to do, and see how the arrow has like a little pair of scissors next to it? I left click and held it down, and I dragged it over to the header, and it dropped it right on there. Okay, now what I can do is move this over where I want it to be. I'm going to rename this layer here, so I double click on that, and I'm just putting me. Okay, so let's see here. I want my shoulders to be tucked underneath this little layer here, so I'm going to drag my layer down to the bottom where it's near the background. Okay, but I also want it to be in front of this shape here, so I need this shape to be behind me as well. So that shape is called the blue shape. Let me extend this so you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to bring this down there, and I'm going to bring it down again. So now I'm in front of it. Okay, but I'm a little low, so I'll click back on me, and I got the move tool, and I can bring myself back up here. Let me see here. Whoops. Oh shoot. Accidentally clicked a button on my keyboard and messed myself up, so let me go back. Here's the me layer again. I'm going to click on that, use the move tool, put me back where I belong. Now I need the blue shape, bring it back behind me. And sometimes things like that happen. I accidentally hit something on the keyboard, not sure what it was, but it moved me back around. So it's okay. It moved my layers out of order. Okay, so I just put them back where they belong. So now I need to get on my layer again. And what I want to use now is, let me see, not the marquee tool, not the crop tool. I'm looking for a tool that will, oh, I know where it is. I have to go up here to image, is right here, edit, free transform. Now, the reason why I was looking for free transform is because my little icon of myself is too big, so I want to make it smaller. So when you select, when you're on that layer and you select free transform, it automatically puts this transform box around the shape that you have. And then once you have that, you drag a corner and you can make it bigger, smaller, you can flip yourself, all that. Okay, so I'm just sizing myself down a little bit right there, and now I click off of it and it says, do you want to apply? And I click yes. So let me grab that. Right there. Okay, now I'm going to come back over to this layer here where it says this is a header test, and realign that in. This is a header test. This is secondary text, and then here's the website. Okay, so this would be your client. You know, if it's a real estate agent, whatever, lawyer, this would be his saying. You know, you can put quotes here or whatever the name of his website's going to be. Law offices, you can put text in here, and write down here website, phone number, whatever. There you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I covered the lasso tool. I covered how to transform something just a minute ago. Edit, free transform. Let's see that again. Edit, free transform. We colored the background. We made a shape. We used this area here a lot, the layer styles. I dragged this image over by cutting it out. So those are the basics for making a header. Okay, once you have those down, you can make a really cool header like this. And you know, I took maybe, you know, whatever, 10-15 minutes, but after you get the hang of this, it's no problem. You could do these all day long, and you can do them in 10 minutes or less. Okay, so it saves you a lot of time looking for an outsourced person and a lot of trouble. Okay, you make your own choices, do your own graphic design here. Alright guys, take care. See you in the next video.